Happy Friday, all my beautiful angels. Welcome back to my channel. It's me, your girl Shyla, here with another video. I hope that you guys all had an amazing week. I hope that you are all ready to do something fun this weekend. I think I'm going to go on a road trip this weekend, and I might actually vlog it. Despite not having my vlogging camera, I'm going to be carrying around this big old massive camera on my little tiny vlogging stick, and probably going to get dirty looks, but I think I'm going to go on a road trip over to Sacramento, maybe on Friday, do some fun stuff. Try to do something fun, try to do something for myself. Sometimes, you know, when things aren't going the best, you need to do fun stuff for yourself because you just gotta do it. Today, we are gonna do a little video about my 3-month post-op SRS, one of the two. It's been 3 months since I had my SRS surgery, so this is my 3-month post-op update. I appreciate all of you that are coming to watch it. I hope that you guys are ready to talk about it and have some fun. Before we get going though, take a second, like the video. If you don't like it now, like it by the end. Subscribe to my channel. We appreciate every single one of you. And also don't forget to hit the little bell button. That way you're notified whenever I post a new video. If you're new here, I post every Monday, every Friday. Occasionally I'll post on a Wednesday. Just depends on, you know, what's going on. Sometimes I don't get to post on Monday or Friday. Just depends on life. But with the bell button turned on, you will be notified every time I post a new video. And if you're a returning subscriber, as usual, I appreciate every single one of you. If I didn't have any of you, I wouldn't be able to do this, so I appreciate every single one of you. Also, don't forget to check out my Instagram. I post there every day. We get to be interactive. We get to have a relationship. And of course, don't forget to check out my Poshmark, where I'm constantly posting new clothes that don't fit me, new stuff that you can buy if you like it. It goes pretty fast. But other than that, let's get into the video. Now, before we get started, I do want to tell all of you that I am going to be talking about some things that are more adult, and it's all for informational purposes, but this video may not be suitable for children. I recently discovered that my 9-year-old cousin is watching my videos, so I'm going to let her dad know ahead of time that she shouldn't be watching this video, but I'm going to try my best to keep things clean. But I am going to be talking about stuff that maybe younger kids shouldn't be watching, so you guys have all been warned ahead of time before I get started. So, it is officially, actually on Sunday, not today, but it has officially been 3 months since I've had my surgery, and that is a very big point in the surgery because that is a point where you're pretty much healed to just kind of do whatever. At the 3 months mark, I am healed enough that I can go back and have the second part of my surgery. I haven't paid for it yet. The second part of the surgery is about $10,000. It is mainly cosmetic. Like I've said in my previous videos, that would create interlabia for the vagina and also would create a hood for the clitoris. It is a mainly cosmetic surgery. Some people have it, some people don't. I will probably have it when I can afford to have it and if I can afford to take more time off. I am pretty pleased with how she looks, even without having that surgery. Now that the swelling has gone down and everything is starting to look normal, I do have some stitching that hasn't dissolved yet. And I did talk to the nurses where I had the surgery done at, and they said that's normal. So if you do have the surgery and you notice after 3 months, like around the clitoris, that you still have some stitching that hasn't dissolved yet, they did explain to me that that is completely normal, so to not panic about it. I guess they do heavier stitching in that area to make it so it doesn't like get cold back inside. We definitely don't want that. We want her to be out and about. Also, at the 3-month mark is when especially if you've been doing your dilating, keeping up with things, the 3-month mark is when you can start having sex if you want to have sex. And I will say along that path, and we are going to talk a little bit about dilating, I will say along that path, I have talked to a lot of trans girls and I have watched a lot of trans videos, and I would say it's kind of like 50-50, maybe not 50-50, maybe like 70-30 of trans girls that have had the surgery that either don't use their girl down there because they say that it hurts to have sex, or trans girls that don't have sex, don't use what they have down there because they're either not keeping up with their dilating or things aren't working right for them. and it just doesn't feel good to them, so they're not using it. And as the majority of you know, I do like boys and girls. Just depends on the person. I would call myself pansexual. I mainly like girls, but occasionally boys. And so I do want everything to work properly down there because, I mean, you never know. I may run into, you know, some boy that I actually like. But I do want everything to work down there because, you know, I have it. What if I want to try it? Who knows? I might want to try it with a girl too. Who knows what may happen? Like I said, this video wasn't suitable for kids, so I hope there's no kids watching beyond this point. But along that note, I have, and I'm pretty pleased with myself with this, I have really been pushing myself with my dilating to try to get everything working right the way I want it to, and I have mastered the number 4 dilator, or as I have nicknamed my number 4 dilator, Idris Elba, because they said that you only need to go up to the number 3, that most girls only go up to the number 3, but I really wanted to work up to the number 4. That way I know that everything is working properly down there, and I could accommodate, if it came to that point, someone who is bigger. So I'm pretty pleased with myself that I have mastered that. I tried it a couple of times at first. When it was about time to move on from the 3 to the 4, even though I didn't have to, and trust me, if you try to move up from the 3 to the 4, you are definitely gonna feel it. But you feel it anyway. Anytime you move up from one size to the next, from the 2 to the 3 or the 1 to the 2, you always feel it until your body gets more used to it. Now, I will say along the dilating part, some complications that I did have with the dilating that you may experience if you do have the surgery is when I moved on from when I moved down to my twice-a-day dilating, which I believe I talked about in the last video, which is what you move on to at the end of the first month, I did notice after like a week or two of moving down, switching to the 2 times a day dilating from the 4 times a day dilating, that I noticed I was having some tension in the dilating times. I was having some tension, you know, getting it in. And not to be kind of blunt about it, I'm going to be kind of blunt about it. And so if you did have the surgery, you may notice this too. And when I called there, they said that what happens when you have the surgery is you get scar tissue that builds up because it's something that's new. And usually the scar tissue just kind of works itself out in in your body. Some girls it doesn't, and they have to fix it. They have to go back in and have surgery and fix it. But for most girls, it works itself out. So I had to increase my dilating to 3 times a day, once in the middle of the day. Occasionally, I don't get to the 3rd one, and I only do twice a day. It's not going to kill you. But the 3 times a day definitely helped. It definitely helped get everything better and ease things up and help me to move up to the number 4. But I do know that when if I go a couple of days or I've only done 2, I do notice when I do go to the dilating that there is more tension putting it in. It's like it keeps hitting little roadblocks on the way in as it's stretching itself out, which I'm assuming is the scar tissue working itself out. And they said that could take a while before it fully works itself out, and you don't experience that anymore. So just something to think about if you did the surgery and you're down to the twice a day and that's happening, it's normal. So don't freak out about it. Something else I have noticed, which upon watching other trans girls videos is completely normal, so don't freak out, is moisture. And your vagina isn't going to work like a normal cisgender girl's vagina if you do have the surgery. So it is not going to get, it's not supposed to get wet like the other girls do. I mean, maybe some, but maybe a little bit, but it's not supposed to get like really, really wet like other girls' vaginas do, like cisgender girls. But I have noticed, especially like at night when I wake up in the morning, a lot of moisture around it, a lot of moisture on it. And before you go and say anything, no, it's not pee. It's just moisture, and it's mainly from the wound healing and because you've got the wounded side healing, you've got the wound around your clitoris that's healing, so it's mainly from everything healing, and it is completely normal. So if you notice that, don't freak out about it. I will say upon watching other girls' videos, and if this is TMI for you, then I guess it's TMI for you, some girls experience like a really bad odor with it. I am fortunate enough to where I don't really have that issue, but some girls do. So if you do have that, every girl is different. Regardless of how much you take care of yourself and keep yourself clean and douche, that you could still have that issue as stuff is healing down there. So do not freak out if that happens to be you. It just depends on your body. Every girl's body is different. I have been very fortunate compared to what other girls that I've watched. I have not had any UTIs. I haven't had any of that type of issue happening. Even when I got back into my working out, I haven't had any of those issues going on. And if you're thinking about the surgery, that is definitely a thing that can happen. I talked about it in my last one because your urethra is a lot shorter, so it's a lot easier for bacteria to get up inside your bladder. But I have been fortunate enough to not have that happen. Now, some positives that I have been going on is I have been able to get back into my workouts. I was able to do that about 2 months in. She told me 6 weeks. I do lift kind of heavy, so I waited about 7, and then I did cardio the first week, and I got back into working out. And I will tell you that if you do a lot of working out, if you're a workout girl, I did notice when I first started getting back into my hip thrusts, the first couple of weeks, I just did it with a resistance band, maybe the first week, just to get used to it again. And then when I started using the barbell, I was using a lot lighter weight on the barbell than what I was used to be able to doing. And this is my 4th weekend of workouts, my 3rd week on Bella's Fit Guide, and I finally can say this week I am finally feeling like I am not feeling as much tension in that area. The first couple of weeks using the barbell, I definitely could feel a lot of tension in that area as I was lifting it up and down. And this is the first week I felt like I could actually increase the weights and start to go heavier and start to really work it out because I'm not feeling nearly as much tension going on. And if you catch me looking to the side, I'm watching like a football thing. There's like a football thing. I don't have like the sound on, but it's like they're talking about the draft and fantasy. Anyway, I'm digressing. That's neither here nor there. So if you do work out a lot, what I would say is, like I said, just start light, start easy. Don't feel bad if you can't go as heavy as you were doing. Like before my surgery, I was so proud of myself that I had worked up to being able to do 225 pounds as my working set on hip thrusts. And it was a goal that I had, and I was finally able to do it, 4 sets of 12. And when I went back to first starting with my dumbbells again, I just started with 135. And don't feel bad about starting with lesser weight. You're working out, and that's what's important, and you're just getting going again. Don't jump back in and expect to go as heavy as you were, because you might hurt yourself, and you don't want to hurt yourself down there. Work yourself back up to it. That is one of the pros, or another one of the pros that I have noticed, and it's nice to be able to work out again. Like I've said, I did put on quite a bit of weight from my surgery, because you can't work out when you have your surgery, and you can't work out after your recovery. And if you do have it, try to be careful. Don't eat a lot, because you'll put on a lot of weight, and then of course you got to try to get it off, especially because after your surgery you won't have any testosterone running through you at all. You don't have to take your testosterone blockers anymore, obviously, because those are gone. But the testosterone, for as evil as testosterone is, it does help you lose weight really fast. And now that you're only on estrogen, it can be a little bit harder to get it off without putting in a lot of work. So definitely trying to take it easy afterwards. What else I'm just going off of these off the top of my head. Oh, okay, so 3-month mark. Everything is still kind of healing down there. I feel like my clitoris is really well healed, and like I said, hopefully there's no kids watching this, but I will say that I got really, really close, and this kind of was one of my questions in my 1-month one. I did get really, really close to having my first orgasm as a girl. I feel like I was like right on the edge of having it, and I just couldn't get myself over the edge, which is a big thing, because it's like, you're trying to learn how a new body part works, and I haven't, my sex drive is still there. I'm really happy that I didn't lose my sex drive. I know a lot of girls, after they have their surgery, they go from like wanting to have sex all the time to not caring about sex at all. I feel like I still have my same sex drive, which makes me happy, but knowing everything's healing and not having the same equipment down there, I haven't really been like, playing around with it a lot, or, checking it out and whatnot. But I did get myself really, really close. So I'm really happy that everything works down there, because that is a big thing, because one of the things on everybody's mind is am I going to have sensitivity, be able to have sexual pleasure after I have my surgery? And there are some girls where they can't do it, and they lose their feeling down there, they lose their sensitivity, and they can't feel any sexual pleasure. So I am very happy that even though I didn't get to that point, I feel like it was almost at that point. I just couldn't get myself over that point. I am happy that I am having feeling down there and sensitivity and everything is working and everything's connected. I know it's all still healing, but it does make me happy that everything is working. I'm trying to think of anything else. I can't really think of anything else. Now I was going to have a little Q&A for you guys here. Answering any of your guys' questions at the end of this, but apparently nobody really had any questions. I don't know. I put up a Q&A on my Instagram. I didn't get like any real questions on there. Winter asked me if I have a ketchup secret, and you know that I have a ketchup secret. I mean, sometimes I like to mix my ketchup and my mayonnaise. I call it my fancy sauce. I don't share it with anybody because I'm the one that made it. You can make your own fancy sauce. But, I mean, I'd like to say I have a Q&A for you, but it's like the biggest Q&A fail ever. I guess I'll never ask for another Q&A on there because nobody really wants to ask me anything. Anyway, that being said, if you guys think of any questions that I didn't answer on this, leave them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Otherwise, I hope that you guys liked the video, and I will see you guys back on Monday with another video. Love you all.